Take one. Swordfish.
Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. This is Cory Lopez, and we are here to talk with you about the new Lost Mayhem Calo swordfish. And there's some great backstory about this board, and we're excited that we have Cory with us for it for a bunch of different reasons. One, because it's way better to watch videos of Cory ripping on a board than almost anybody else in the entire world. And two is that this board's DNA is tied directly to the round-nosed fish. And there's kind of, if you think about all the surfers out there in the world, there's nobody that you think of first before Cory when you're talking about a round-nosed fish. So when Matt was designing this board, he started out with a round-nosed fish and put some tweaks into it to make it more performance. But again, it has a lot of the DNA of a round-nosed fish, but obviously more performance-oriented. So Cory, take it away, man. Tell us a little bit about this board.
Yeah, so I just rode this board yesterday, and the thing's epic. It came in. This was not a board made for me. It's just a board that was on stock, ordered for Real Watersports, and I just happened to be coming up here for an O'Neill shoot, and Trip said he's got a board. It's coming right about the dimensions I like. So this is a 5.6. It's 27 liters. It's 19 inches wide. I'm riding it with the Rostovich fin setups by Futures. I mean, the board worked insane, so that's the most important thing. I had a great time. Like literally from my first wave, it felt good. It was obviously a lot looser than the board I was riding the day prior because I was riding a 6.0 Whiplash, and then you go from a 6.0 regular board down to a 5.6. It's gonna take a minute to adjust. But I felt the adjustment was really quick on this board. By going with the two big fins, using a little bite, it really helps that adjustment period. If I rode it as just a twin, you're gonna be kind of squirting, but that little fin in the back really helped it get the drive that I wanted, because there was some waves. It wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. It wasn't tiny. But yeah, this board, obviously a lot of people have seen the movie 5.5, 19 1/4. Back then we were riding some pretty primitive fishes with some glassed on just twin fins. And it's really evolved a lot since then. You see those original boards, they're really yellow now, but they're just a lot not as nice as this. This is way better. But if you look at, here's a more recent fish that Matt has done for me, and this is the round nose retro fish. You can see the difference here is the nose on this is more rounded out, as this is more streamlined and pulled in. Now this board is made specially for me. The stock board of this was even more hip here, it had more curve to the nose, So this one actually is already pulled in. And then if you look, the swordfish model, the Kalohe model, is even pulled in more to make it more high performance, which is where I've always gone with my fish. I always told Matt I want a lot of the stock fishes come with a big wide nose, which is really good. It's easy. It makes them real easy for small, mushy waves, a lot of Florida stuff, North Carolina, anywhere where it's small and mushy. Virginia Beach, epic mushy waves there. But that wide nose will give you that plane surface to kind of cruise through the flat sections. But when you go down, you streamline a little bit more. It just makes it more high performance, lets you get in the waves that have more juice. And then you just gotta kind of pick a fin setup that works for the juice that, for you. Like this board, I rode it like this, but I was like, man, if the waves had even more push and more power, you could probably take it to the quad, and that lets you, stiffens the board up more, and then lets you really drive through your turns, and especially, the most important part of surfing is the bottom turn. So you want to be able to come off the bottom on a big wave. And that's where I think going to a quad would help if you rode this in 6-foot surf, which you definitely could. I mean, I could 100% ride this board in 6-foot surf, no problem.
Cory, let's talk about comparing it a round-nosed fish retro to that board. What is it that you're saying it's more high performance, right? But let's break that down, what high performance means to you when you go from a round-nosed fish that has more area up here to that, what do you gain? What's better for you?
To me, if you got too much volume up here, too much curve up in the nose, and it's got extra, it's just more place to grab water.
Okay.
So if you're trying to really just get after it, you can still ride it and still rip it for sure with the bigger nose. But I feel like you're gonna grab water, you have to kind of alter your turns a little bit more.
Okay.
With this, I can really almost surf the way I want to surf my shortboard, but on a fish, which the difference still, so why not just ride a shortboard, right?
Well, yeah.
When you ride your fish, the instant I went from my regular board to the fish, you just notice the glide and the pop. So you stand up and the board just kind of wants to go. Your speed, the board just want to fly. I think you'll see on a video, there's a wave that I catch and it's kind of mushing and it's rolling sideways and it's just right. And the board just kind of glides all the way over to the barrel section, which on my shortboard I would have probably, I don't know if I would have made it to that section.
Right.
And maybe if I did, I would have just had to work a lot harder to get there. As this board, I could just feel it gliding. Now this board's also maybe like a half of a liter, maybe 3/4 of a liter more than my regular shortboard. I think when I was riding the day before it was 26, and this is 27. It might have been 26 1/4.
Right.
And this is 27 liters. So that helps with the glide too. It helps with the paddle, especially if you're such a short board. I think it would be if your regular board, whatever it is, I would say go up a half a liter, maybe 3/4 of a liter could help you in that just paddling situation on a short board.
I mean, another thing to look at, like when you start comparing this thing to a shortboard, I mean, you know, yes, the nose is narrower than something like this, right? But when you look at the tail, this has a lot more tail going out the back, you know, and that's going to give you, did you feel that like underneath your foot, like pushing up the glide?
Well, yeah, and then yeah, it's a good point. You know, that might be part of why you get that pop is you got that extra meat in the tail that helps you just kind of glide and lets you kind of alter your stance to feel the glide. But, you know, a lot of it, I think the twin fins, when you go, this big planing surface through here, that width, you know, and then you got the big side bites, just kind of grab water and go. That might be part of it too, but I don't know, something about fish, they've always been fast. You know, everyone I've ever rode, they always want to fly. They want to kind of, to me, sometimes they just squirt out. They're
skate across it.
Like they skate, yeah. You know, and I had Miles on the phone earlier because I'm not the most genius guy at board design. I've been fortunate to ride for Matt my whole life, and I never had to give him too much input other than I like that board, I don't like that board. Like to me, he's one of the best shapers in the world, if not the best. So he told me this board, you know, it's got a single concave through the front. I'm gonna get real technical, and it's got some V through the tail. I don't know what that does, but it makes it ride awesome.
Hey, if we and so another thing we want to talk about is the nose on this thing, because another thing that that they're telling us about this board is, you know, not only did they narrow up the nose a little bit, but they also put a little bit more rocker in the front of the board compared to a fish. And you know, I think like looking at like those slow-mo clips, like some of those waves you have where you're just like burying the entire rail of the board, like you're burying like 5/6 of rail into a turn. That's where like narrowing the nose up and putting a little bit more rocker in it, it's going to help the board out, not to get, you know, not to grab, not to get sticky. Yeah. One last thing for the for all the Groms out there, when you're putting this thing together in the board loft, you went ham on the tail pad. So tell us what you got going on back here with the cutout.
To me, it's really important. This is one of the most important things about getting your fish dialed in is you got to get your grip pad way back. Otherwise, you might notice yourself going to pop up real quick in a critical situation, maybe a barrel, and your foot's gonna want to like get stuck on top of it. So, like, you want to pull that one up?
Sure.
If you look how I kind of screwed this one up, it's more the grip pad on this one too. So if I could redo this one over, I would have cut this here, got rid of the arch on that, and just slid this part all the way back, and then, you know, it would allow you to get this all back so that there's nothing really stopping you from putting your foot all the way back. Like this one is probably, I'm proud of this one. This one came out awesome, as in like I can get my foot all the way back to the tail, really allow me to drive off on any of my turns I want to do, especially front side. I love to do layback snaps. Every time I do that, I want to get my foot all the way back, but yeah, it's just, sometimes riding a short fish, you'll notice you want to pop up and especially if you're used to riding a bigger board, your foot will want to go behind it or like go all the way to the back. So make sure you get your grip pad as far back as you can. You can see this one I modified it and cut it so I get the tail plug back there. So
awesome, Cory. Well, we really appreciate the feedback on the Lost Swordfish by Mayhem. If anybody out there has any questions about the board or would like to place an order for one, you can give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in, and Cory, thanks for joining in today.
Round Trip, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for this board. I love it.